Welcome to the Bleav in Kings podcast. I'm your host, Mark Haynes, and the Sacramento Kings have done it again. They kept the streak going. Now they're up to 7 wins, and they're across that 500 mark, so their record is 20-19, a point that we didn't think we would get to this quickly. The transition from going from Mike Brown to Doug Christie has been seamless. It's been as smooth as you could possibly think. And this game today against the Chicago Bulls, we're not going to act like this was a game that, this means the Kings they're so great or whatever, whatnot. But the 7-game win streak is no fluke. The 7-game win streak is this is something to be proud of. This 7-game win streak hasn't happened since the 2022 season. This 7-game win streak is the start of what we thought was going to happen when DeMar DeRozan signed with this team. Nobody expected the Kings to drop. I think they were 13-17 at one point before the streak got going. Nobody's seen that. When DeMar signed with the Sacramento Kings, people were thinking this was going to be a team that could potentially make some type of run in the playoffs. Diehard fans was like, this should be a guaranteed conference finals appearance. Some said this is just an automatic, this is a top 4 team in the West. But that's not what we got right away. But with this team that we're seeing under Doug Christie, this team has been playing like they can live up to some of those expectations. And at this moment, I don't have anything, negative to say about this team other than maybe the depth still on the bench, but what I do like in today's game, let's see, 9 players. Yeah, 9 players played. Keon Ellis off the bench played 19 minutes. Kevin Huerter played 10 minutes, and it was a productive 10 minutes. He was 3 or 4 from the field. Trey Lyles had a tough game, but 18 minutes from Trey Lyles. He pulled down 8 rebounds and got a block. So he did other things, even though he was 3 of 10 from the field. And rookie Devin Carter even played 10 minutes. Knocked down 2 free throws, had 3 rebounds, 2 assists. So you got guys that's coming in off in that second unit. They're producing. They're producing. And that's what the Kings were missing the whole start of the season. For whatever reason, you couldn't get any production from your bench. And now things in this run, obviously it's only been a short stretch, but in this run, the second unit has been competing. They've been competitive. They've been Keon Ellis. He even played closing minutes today. So Doug Christie is, again, the name of this podcast, Bleav in Kings. Doug Christie is believing in his players, and he's giving his guys the opportunity to show that they're trustworthy. And thus far, everything's been paying off. Secondly, this was the return of all-star guard De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox came in, and I thought he played a phenomenal game. I thought he played in rhythm. I thought he didn't come in and try to insert his dominance on the team and, I'm the man or, any of that. He just came in fit. And put up a pretty solid stat line. He was 9 of 16 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3, 4 or 5 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds with 26 points. And yeah, his 26 points led the team in scoring. For those who thought, for whatever reason, the Sacramento Kings would be they are a better team without De'Aaron Fox. You take a moment right now and just slap yourself. Just slap yourself. That's just silly. Don't do it hard, because I don't want nobody. We love people here. We ain't trying to hurt people here. But no, it's just ridiculous to think that the Sacramento Kings throughout his whole career have been a better team without him. Obviously we look at stats, and stats say, certain things and whatnot, but stat numbers do lie. And I'm a firm believer of that. I love, analytics and all that. And you can use that to come up with, all kind of ideas that maybe you don't see. But this one is wrong. Yeah, I like the lights and how the light changing my background. It's my TV or whatever. It's a big flower on the screen. So that's why I'm kind of pinkish. But anyway, De'Aaron Fox came in. He was the best player on the team. I was gonna say he was the best player on the floor, but the game Zach LaVine had was crazy. So I guess today Zach LaVine was the best player on the floor. 36 points, 10 rebounds, 12 of 24 shooting from the field, 5 of 8 from the three. He was a problem. And Zach LaVine is a guy that's been tied to potentially ending up on the Sacramento Kings. Could y'all imagine that? I don't know if I'm not. We ain't gonna use this episode to talk about that and see if we like it or not or whatever. But that would just be something. That would be something. That's all I'm gonna say. And Zach LaVine today, he was the best player on the court, but the best player on the Sacramento Kings, who usually is day in and day out, is no other than De'Aaron Fox. And he showed it, and they needed him today. I do think if De'Aaron did not play today, they lose this game. You got a guy like Zach going the way he was, and you're not at full strength and don't have enough firepower to keep up with the scoring the Chicago Bulls did. Maybe the game, changes. But maybe woulda, coulda, shoulda, all that. None of that happened. What did happen is the Sacramento Kings won. And De'Aaron Fox was amazing in this game. But what I really liked about the offense is how even it was. Everybody's touching the ball, everybody's getting shots up. I think, let's see, out of the starters, let's just talk the start. All the starters were, all the starters got double-digit shots up. DeRozan was 9 of 20. Keegan Murray, 5 of 12. Domantas Sabonis, 8 of 10. Malik Monk, 7 of 17. Fox, 9 of 16. So the ball is moving. I think they had 33 assists as a team. The ball is moving and they're competing. Like we keep saying, Doug Christie he's believing in them and they're believing in Doug. And they're playing hard, they're showing it, and they're going out there and winning games. This was a game, I think I said it earlier, this was a game the Sacramento Kings should have won. So this isn't a game where it's like, oh, it means they're so great. But no, the schedule is what it is. You got to go out and you got to play the games and you got to win the games you're supposed to win. Boston was somewhat of a surprise. And if you lose that game, nobody is going to say like, oh, this team is, this or they're lapsing or they're, whatever. But this game right here against Chicago, if they would have lost today, there would have been a lot of rumbling of like, all right, the streak was just, they got hot, they won some games, they got lucky here and there, but they're still not a good team because they can't even beat a team like the Bulls, I think the Bulls are 18 and 20 or something, like a game or two under 500. And you would be absolutely right if that happened. But the fact that they went out there, it's their second game on the road, and they go out there and win, and it was a tough game. One finish was 124 to 119, so it was a hard fought game. The Bulls played a great game. It wasn't a game where it was like, oh well, they didn't do this or that, blah blah blah. No, it was a good game from both sides. And the Kings down the stretch, where they failed early in the season to complete games down the stretch, they finished the job. They got the job done, and it was a collective effort. DeMar DeRozan is known for being a great fourth quarter player. De'Aaron Fox, they both won Clutch Player of the Year. This is what they do. But it wasn't just them two. Everybody did a little bit. It was defensive stops, deflections from Keon Ellis, Malik Monk making plays, Domantas Sabonis, everybody. It was a collective effort, and that's when the Sacramento Kings are at their best. I know we had earlier in the year where Fox just went absolutely berserk and had the 55-point game and the 60-point game or whatever, the 109 points in 2 days or whatever. That kind of things kind of changed at that point to some extent, and the offense started to flow a lot more through De'Aaron, and people start watching because we all play pickup, and if you're on the court and you got a guy that's going and he ain't missed in like 3 or 4 shots, you want to feed him. 60 points ain't 3 or 4 shots, but if you got a guy that scored 60 one night, the next day you want to see if he still got it going. So you go feed him and feed him, and I think it kind of disrupted the flow of the team's offense. And I remember asking Mike Brown about it when he was the coach or whatever, and he was like, it's difficult to, keep your guys, in rhythm, the rest of the team in rhythm when somebody is that hot. And I think the Kings kind of never bounced back, from that disruption, which it was great because we got to see some historic basketball from De'Aaron Fox. And then when they go into the slump, and now they're in this streak. Sometimes I don't remember what player, it might have been Steph or somebody. Sometimes getting hurt is a blessing in disguise. And I think that's what this might have been for De'Aaron Fox and the Sacramento Kings. No, you're not a better team without him. But him being gone the 3 games that he was, it allowed Malik Monk to play a bigger role. It allowed Keon Ellis to play a bigger role. It allowed Keegan Murray to get more attempts because Keegan has been playing. He's been playing well in this stretch or whatever. I think I seen a stat. He's shooting like 42% from 3 in the Doug Christie era. So that's about, was that 8 games? So the last 8 games he's shooting 42%. But the last 3 games with De'Aaron out, we got to see Devin Carter, play. We got to see, a bunch of guys in slightly different roles. And you got to see a bunch of guys who needed a little confidence boost to finish this season and get to the, All-Star break or whatever. And I think it was necessary, and like to get that win in Boston without De'Aaron Fox, I think that was the reassurance for a lot of guys. It was like, they knew that they're NBA players. They know they could play basketball. But I think De'Aaron Fox being out was good for this team, and it allowed other players to grow. And then De'Aaron Fox being so good and the star that he is, when he came back, he didn't overwhelm anybody. He didn't try to, I'm back and I'm about to go out here and get 50. He came in, he stuck to the game plan, he scored when needed, he did everything you're supposed to do as a star, and that's why he finished as the leading scorer today with 26 points. He had 3 assists, 9 rebounds, shooting 9 of 16 from the field. Didn't even shoot the most, excuse me. Malik Monk shot more. DeMar DeRozan shot more. He was the third option if you're going by shot attempts. But I think he understood that. I think from watching from the sideline, he understood. Now he was able to look at, where do this team need me and what moments do they need me? And meanwhile, the great part, which usually don't happen, the great part is they kept winning. They won those 3 games without him, and they won this next game with them. And that gives them a 7-game win streak. And it's daytime out here in Sacramento, which I don't know how many of y'all paid attention, but the Kings don't win a lot of day games because I always be thinking, like, is the beam are they gonna just light the beam early, or do they gotta wait till it's dark? Because you can't see it in the daytime. But I got my answer. I can't see the beam right now. But I'm sure as it dims down, that purple bat signal will be up, because the Sacramento Kings are the hottest team in the NBA, and they're continuing to light that beam and run that energy bill up. And now they're at full strength. So let's see what happens next. But just wanted to stop in real quick, do a little recap, let you know what's on my mind. Let me know how y'all feeling in the comments. Let me know what y'all think I should talk about this week or correct or whatever and all that stuff. And I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all Sunday. I know y'all will, especially with this W that the Kings just got, 7-game win streak, hottest team in the NBA. I'm going to get out of here. It's the Bleav in Kings podcast. Mark Haynes. Follow, like, subscribe. Do all that for your boy. And until next time, I'm out.